Welcome to SGL Spiritual Guide and Light. Hi, I am SGL. Welcome. If you're new, make sure that you subscribe so that you can be a part of the success and growth of the channel. If you are returning back, welcome back. May you find the clarity, confirmation, and understanding that you seek or need. I'm going to take a look at and see what comes through for the weekend read. I don't have a direct message. That doesn't mean that that's bad. It just means I don't have a direct message. I do have a direct message in regards to the weekend. Work on eliminating self doubt. Try to be charismatic. All right. Find ways that um, try to Are we back on? Are we back on? All right. The signal is bouncing. So if you see that, if we have any additional signal difficulties, this live will be available to you. Um, what was I going to say? If I could control the signal, we would never be apart. And I don't want that to sound toxic. It just means that being available is a good thing, but being accessible is an honor. And collective, my earth, air, fire, and water signs, if you have access, right, to people, places, or things, try not to forget the fact that you have access. And if you know that your access is accessible, meaning you can have this access whenever you choose, there is no limits, there's no boundaries, there's no restrictions. Don't forget, I don't know what this message is entailing. It just, I'm being guided to tell you that the fact that this is a weekend read, just don't forget the power of your access and the power of being accessible, um, and the power of when it comes to you, you have the power to create how you want to be accessible, how you want to be available. That is your decision. Now, if you're in a position where everything outside of yourself is in control because of your conditions, the fact that you have access to a certain type of condition that limits your power to control. What can you learn out of the situation to where you can break it down and you can position yourself in the future to get out of those conditions, all right, so that you can have full ownership of um, self. Moving forward, all right, Most High, thank you so much for blessing me with the gift of intuition. As an intuitive reader, allow this session to bring clarity, confirmation, and understanding. Thank you. My earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, welcome and welcome back. Water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, welcome and welcome back. Fire signs, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, welcome and welcome back. Did I say air signs? Libra, Gemini, Aquarius? Welcome and welcome back. I feel like I said you twice. So we did earth, water, fire, and air. Yeah. All right. What is the message? What's the weekend read? Practice forgiveness, collective. So this weekend, what's significant, because we still have to pull out the situation, and we still have to pull out the challenge versus the outcome. What's significant about your weekend read is that you are being asked to practice forgiveness. What you don't see is that you will be positioned. I'll take a look at to see if you feel being forced or being guarded. You know how um, you can be in a good headspace, and the next thing you know it, you're like, okay, what's going on? All right, no one asked me if, yeah, I was wondering why I was pulling in the being accessible and being like what I can't recall, but it had something to do with access and being accessible. Let's see. All right. Like I said, there has been some, all right. Am I using the right mic? I'm going to change the mic. Okay. Because I think that the mic that I was using is opening up too much space. So it's a lot of energy coming through. And that could be the reason why the frequency, or should I say the signal, is bouncing. It's too much open space. But anywho, so access and being available. Okay. And so for some of you, you may find yourself being positioned to where you were not aware that you're being positioned to hear someone out versus you needing to be heard. Place yourself where it fits. You're being asked to release, for some of you, whatever weight that has been on your mind on an ongoing basis this week. You are being asked to release it over the weekend. Okay. For those of you who are going to start your healing journey this weekend, or even at this moment, just understand that the healing journey is not all gumdrops and lollipops and rainbows. Okay. First, you go through the darkness before you even realize that you are the light at the end of the tunnel. So I'm making you aware that when you feel a certain type of way, or when you feel broken down, embrace it. Don't run away from it. Okay. Communicate with that shadow energy. For those of you who are getting ready to unknowingly be positioned in resentment, you first have to forgive yourself. The worry of, is God going to forgive me? That's not the concern. You know how you'll know that you're forgiven is the fact that you have breath. Okay? We're not worried about the four corners. We're not worried about what's outside of the box. We're not worried about the event or the situation. What we are worried about is you forgiving self. And that could be a dark space because it could take you back into why you're even wanting to face what needs to be forgiven. Moving forward, I do want to take a look at to see if this is a bombarded um, forgiveness. I want to take a look at that with a word of advice. I'm a true believer. You know how if you are used to saying, oh, your apology is not sincere, don't do that, viewer. Okay? Everyone doesn't have the strength or the capacity to even conduct the act of empathy and say that, hey, will you forgive me? You know what I mean? Is this a bombarded envy? It is. But for the most, but it's okay. The reason why I'm saying the head of the coin. The reason why I'm saying this bar guarded is because you're not asking to have this conversation. You're not asked to be in the middle of hot mess. You're not asked to be the mediator. And it just feels like if you decline, you are being deemed as the careless and the mean person. I want you to really grab hold of your access, of making yourself accessible and available. Those are two different things. You being accessible and available. You need to be very clear of how you're going to be available this weekend and how you're going to be accessible this weekend. Because you don't want to be forced into a situation that has nothing to do with you. And you don't want to have to take on the responsibilities to feel the weight of mediating a situation where you would be the one, and it's like, whoa, hold on, wait a minute. I didn't ask to be a part of this. You know what I mean? For those of you who are not dealing with people, this envy feels more so like resentment. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Patience is definitely a virtue, okay? So if you're okay with this bouncing, I'm pretty sure that once the live ends, it's going to be like shortcuts, but for the most part, we're good. Patience is definitely a virtue. Um, I was channeling at the moment. Oh, um, for those of you where it's just you yourself and you don't deal with anyone, um, over the weekend, you may start your healing journey. Try to control resentment, because I don't want resentment to cause your foresight to turn into darkness, where everyone has to pay the price because you're deciding to go on your healing journey. Okay? It's kind of like, the strongest person in the room, just because a person can be deemed as the strongest person in the room, that's all from the perception of the person's character and what they've accomplished, to where everyone can say, oh, that person is the strongest person in the room, because we know they have action. Their actions speak that they're a strong person. They uphold themselves up like they are a strong person. And it's kind of like, not every strong person can hold a concealed weapon. Not every strong person can drive a vehicle. Not every strong person can lead. Not every strong person can take the forefront. And so when it comes to you being strong over the weekend, don't allow resentment to take control of you, because when you're facing shadow self and shadow past, it can it can uproot or resurrect the darkness within inside yourself that you would never imagine. And this envy is very dangerous. It's kind of like going back into the past and you thought that you've forgiven someone, right? And then the whole scene replays itself in your mind. And then this envy starts to possess you. And next thing you know, your action is something that you never thought that you would do. And how do you recover from the act that has played out? So I want you to be very mindful to understand, viewer, that envy is not your friend. Okay. And like I said, I really think that it's more so resentment. Okay. So if you think you're strong over the weekend, you a sense of an experience of realizing that it's okay to let your guard down and put strength on pause, like recharge your fire energy, find a way to be inspired again, find a way to eliminate self-doubt. All right. All right, let's go ahead and move forward. Anything else? What's the outcome of this envy? Okay, I think we're wait a minute. Why is there two? Why do I have two of these things going on here? Okay. I don't know, but it's going crazy. All right, so we're going to take a look at the situation for the weekend read. But I want to clarify this envy. What's the outcome of this envy? We have patience in reverse. Wow, for those of you who are getting ready to start your healing journey, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know exactly what it is when it comes to your fire energy, but I'll just say this. What you say that you won't do, you end up doing. So it's kind of like, let's say if it's, saying something that's on your mind, Let me help you. If it's nothing nice to say, just keep it to yourself because you can't take it back. But it just feels like someone knows that they can't take it back, but they just have to. They can no longer bear how they feel inside, and what's being said can't be taken back. All right. When it comes down to someone coming to their beck and knees to ask you for forgiveness, it just looks like, you have a moment to speak your piece and you miss the opportunity to actually hear what it is you've been wanting to hear. Um, the bottom of the deck in regards to this patience and this envy is trust. You're being asked to listen to your intuition. So if your intuition says hold your tongue, hold your tongue. If your intuition says don't go over there, don't go over there. If you're listen to your intuition over the weekend. Okay? For those of you who choose not to, you choose to be a rebel over the weekend, where you just don't want to follow the rules, where your intuition is saying, hey, let's do the right thing. And the end result is being in a position to ask for forgiveness, whether that's to self or to someone, or being in the middle of a situation. But at the end of the day, trust is built. All right. Love equals gain is what I see here. Let's keep going. What's the situation? Hopefully the Wi-Fi doesn't bounce out. You have practice self-love as a situation. What you don't see is release the past. It's coming in reverse. Okay. So I'm going to be honest with you. Some of you are going to be fake over the weekend. All right. It looks good on the outside, but behind the scenes, it's all bad. Internally, it's not good. That's the situation. I'm not calling you fake over the weekend. It's just you're being asked to practice self love. It just looks like you have it all together, but in reality, you don't. Give me a word of advice for this situation of the collective being asked to practice self love over the weekend. Some of you guys will realize that practicing self love does not mean that it erases the past. You have doubt and honesty, and that was the beginning message. The direct message was to try to eliminate doubt over the weekend. So the truth is, you know, all right, clearing out the past so that you can move forward. If you're just not coming in, the Wi-Fi is bouncing back, but patience is the virtue, and we're gonna get through this. All right. Um, so some of you are going to the situation over the weekend as, you know, you may misconstrued maintenance with self-care. And if you are paying, right, for your maintenance, just understand that does not that will not create a fulfillment versus practicing self-care, that which has nothing to do with maintenance. I just had to get that out of the way so you guys can understand, because some of you guys are hollering, yeah, I practice self-love, and it's like, no, you're practicing maintenance. But what I was getting to before the Wi-Fi was bouncing, um, some of you over the weekend will, yeah, you will have a moment where I don't want to call you a fake person over the weekend. You may find yourself doing things that you say you never would do. And you fill in the blank. I don't want you to goodness gracious. I can use myself as an example. Like, I remember I went through this phase where if I saw someone in public with their pajamas on, I would literally judge them and be like, you know, goodness gracious, like, you don't go outside in your pajamas. You don't go in public with your pajamas. And the first thing I said was, I will never go in public with my PJs on, until one day I had a careless attitude and I ended up in public with my PJs on. And in that moment of being in public with my PJs on, isn't that crazy? When that's when you run into people that you don't want them to see you. So it just feels like whatever this is over the weekend, it looks like you have it all together. And the moment you realize that you don't, you may end up being reckless, impulsive. I want to be sentimental about it. We'll just call you a rebel. You're going to be a rebel over the weekend. I'm not speaking this into your life. I'm just reading your spread. It looks like, and look at practice self-love upright, release the past is in reverse. With doubt and honesty, the beginning direct message was about eliminating doubt. And the truth is, with you being honest with yourself, is that you don't have it together. And if you can accept that, that can eliminate any impulsive behavior over the weekend. Some of you guys are going to be rebels. You know what I mean? You know better, and you're still gonna do it. You know what I mean? And it doesn't have to be nothing bad. It could be, some of you are going to decide to go hang out, and you should be working on something. Some of you are going to indulge in something and you overly indulge and you're not supposed to. Some of you are going to entertain people, places, or thing, and you're not supposed to. You know that the repercussion ends with forgiveness. Will you forgive me? Whatever side that comes from, whether that's you asking forgiveness or someone asking you for forgiveness. Some of you are going to be put in the middle of a hot mess where you're not asked to be there, but you're there. That's because you made yourself accessible. And that's because you're making yourself accessible and available to hot mess. But moving forward, moving all of what we see in front of our faces with the words of advice of envy upright, patience in reverse, trust, doubt, and honesty, it's like there's no need to let the cat out the bag. For what? What are we chasing? Practice forgiveness for over the weekend, practice self-love, versus you being stuck in the past. So practicing the self-love is going to help you with getting out of the past. For some of you, it's going to help you from trying to get to the end of the bottle. Okay? Someone told me about that, and I felt offended because in the past when I used to drink, I wasn't drinking to get at the end of the bottle. I was drinking because I was having fun. But one thing that I will say, when I wasn't having fun, I was in the past, and it wasn't a happy space, and I still didn't get the answer. So I ended up at the end of the bottle. Problem's still there. So don't mistake fun with the end of the bottle. Being at the end of the bottle. And you got a whole nother week ahead of you. So make sure you preserve your energy. Oh, what else? The end of the bottle. You need, whoever you're in love with, you need to make yourself a priority. Because it doesn't matter how much you drink or how much time that is consumed for this person. Because I'm seeing spin the bottle. As many times as the bottle lands on this person is not making themselves accessible to you, because I don't know what you've done in the past. This person does not look at you the same way. Just looking at this spread. The challenge here is trust the journey. Okay. The outcome is you're needing to trust the journey, which is contradicting. You need to be open to change. You need to be open to, when someone tells you something that's for your best interest. For those of you where it's just you yourself and you love it that way, the fact that it's you need to start trusting your intuition and watch things shift. The bottom of the deck is courage. All right, you need to zoom out. You're so adapted to being so close of your perception that unfortunately, it is birthing this doubt, and you need to eliminate doubt over the weekend. What is the I am message here? Let me turn this heater off. It's getting hot. I'm like, oh my goodness gracious, it's hot. All right, we have 3 cards. This is group 1, 2, and 3. I'll give you a moment. Let me give you the direct message here for the weekend read. All right. For the weekend, practice forgiveness, practice self-love, and don't focus on the past. But practicing self-love will help you with releasing the past. So right now, for some of you, whatever transpired in the past, it is attached to you or hooked to you. Okay. What is a challenge is you opening and trusting the universe. And once you start practicing self-love, it will clear up the air for the outcome from it for you guys. The truth be told is you have to work on your trust issues, and you're not ready for change. All right. Additional message here is watch out for envy, whether this is those close to you or just envy from other people. For the most part, when it comes to self, this could be birth over the weekend, and it could come out of nowhere, all because something doesn't go your way, with patience in reverse, and then trust here. So there is a battle over the weekend when it comes to who do you run to. I also see there's a battle of, you know, not just betrayal, but it's just kind of like, out of all the people, that type of energy. And then you have doubt here and honesty. So trust issues could be established where your mind is playing tricks on you and the truth is right in front of your face. Because the overall message that was displayed this far was not listening to your intuition. All right. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Pile one, the calm. Okay, water energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. What I love about this is the calm. What I'm channeling here for those of you who chose pile one is you're going to see a new reflection of yourself. So there is a new level of hope, which is a good thing. Your I Am message says, I breathe, live, and grow the light within me. I do one thing at a time and focus on the present moment. I cast off my doubts, all fears, deceptives, and I find peace in my being. Beautiful. All right, pile two. You have one step at a time. Yes, I love it. Yes, no one is perfect. That is true. That is true. We do it every day, when it comes to um, being impulsive. One step at a time. It says, I see the mountain ahead and I dedicate myself to taking one small step at a time. I make progress by staying focused on the present moment, the current task, thus I regain my ease of living. This is nice. But what I will say, because I have to tell you, because I don't want you to get comfortable with taking things, people, places, things for granted, are using your power recklessly. So it's kind of like, let's just say you intentionally do something that you know you're not supposed to do over the weekend. It's kind of like you do it and the end result is, I'm a work in progress, I'm working on it. It's kind of like, no, you knew better. So if you know you're going to do something and that the end result is where you have to ask for forgiveness or be in a position to where someone has to forgive you, it's kind of like that could be prevented. If you're going to be you, be you. Do you, do you. You know what I mean? But if you impulsively do something and not consider the impact that it will impact on your life and other people's life, just know that there are repercussions when it comes to learning the lesson. And I don't want this one step at a time, because there is someone over the weekend where it's kind of like you've been given a lot of chances. There is a possibility that life reveals its authority. So it's kind of like, that this is how I'm being guided to say abusing power. Okay, so get out of abusing your power. All right, because this one step at a time. Yes, no one is perfect, but it's just kind of like at some point there is someone over the weekend where it's like, it's kind of like the person. How do I say this? You know how there's a person that when they step on a scene, you just know something bad gonna happen because that's the energy that the person has attached to them, and you witnessed it many a times that when this person is around, they're the almond that something bad is gonna happen. It's just that's what I'm channeling, and it's kind of like I don't want any of you to abuse your power to where you have that type of energy be attached to you. That's the worst epitome of bad karma. Okay. And so be mindful. We still have what 2026 is coming, but we're still in 2025. And this one step at a time. Mm-mm. Yeah, be patient. Practice patience over the weekend. And I see the NVI in this too. All right. So if someone's mad at you is because you're practicing self-love, or you're choosing to take the higher road, the higher route, or you're choosing to shift and change, um, create your rules when it comes to how you're going to be accessible to this person who has been possessed with the NVI. Uh, Create your boundaries when it comes to um, being available to this person who is being possessed by an evil eye. All right. Pile 3, harmony. This is nice. This is a clear mindset, a new mindset too. It says, I open myself to a divine being with me. So some of you are going to overcome your challenge of change. And what was it? Because the challenge, it was trusting the universe. So you're going to give it a shot, which is good. It says, I open myself to the divine being within me. I am the image of God. Thus I have the power to bring light into my life. I turn any darkness I turn any darkness in me into something beautiful. In the absence of resentment, anger, and doubt, I find harmony. Isn't that confirmation? That's nice. That's really nice. All right. Give me the outcome message for my collective earth, air, fire, and water signs. Oh, focus your intentions, please. Let me shuffle this deck. Let me make sure all of the cards are upright. And focus your intention while I'm making sure all these cards are upright. And this is your direct message for the weekend. Let's see. I should have made some hot coffee instead of cold coffee. I should have done. All right. I'm just talking out loud. All right. What is the direct message for my earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn? Direct message for the week. Yeah, someone's playing with my internet. I'm gonna have to upgrade my security on my internet because that's not normal. We've been live for 44 minutes and this internet bounced off more than 10 times. 4 or 5 times, okay. After that, nah. So I need to get this fixed as soon as possible. All right, what is the direct weekend message for earth signs? Earth signs, you have your ready and opportunity. This is nice. Be open to it. All right. Don't doubt yourself. Water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. What is the direct message? Water signs, direct message, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Success. Well, you have a good weekend. Nice. There is no excuse why you should not have a good weekend. If you don't have a good weekend, it was you problem. Air signs, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. What is the direct message, please? Is what you don't see, air signs, is no up in the air. So you need, listen, don't you say yes when you mean no. And don't you say no if you mean yes. That's your message. Air signs. You'll thank me later. You welcome. Fire signs, Libra, Gemini, not Libra, Gemini, I got Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. What is your direct weekend? Yes. A promise is being kept. And whatever your set intention, it's yes. All right, we did earth signs, water signs, air signs. Okay, those are the direct messages. All right, and the outcome message, please, for the spread that we did for the weekend read. For the weekend read, thank you. Is the King of Wands. I love this confidence. Yes. Yeah. All right, it says the King of Wands is a natural born leader of people. Isn't this confirmation in the beginning of this session? You'll get it once if you go back, get your pen and pencil, and take notes. I'm telling you. Anywho, the King of Wands is a natural born leader of people and very capable of confident in their abilities. The king isn't interested in the creativity per se, but rather taking an idea and enlisting others to help in the actualization of it. You have a clear vision of what you want. All right, your weekend looks good. So put your priorities not just in order, but stick to them. Okay? And that's your confirmation. I love you. Don't forget love is kind, and don't forget love is gentle. And my apologies for the Wi-Fi bouncing, but hey, we got through it, right? Yes, we did. All right, till we meet again.